Choreographer and DJ Courtnaé Paul is gearing up to represent South Africa on international stages once again. She's now headed to the Olympics, the 2024 Olympics in France. Now, breakdancing is an official sport at the Games, and Courtnaé will be donning the green and gold as next year's event in Paris, and she joins us live from here in Johannesburg. Courtnaé, you wear many hats, and I've, kept tabs kind of as an older person who's not really in with all these things on your career. Dancer, choreographer, producer, you've been on television, you're a quadruple threat in terms of creativity. And now you're adding Olympian to that. Did you ever think that that would be the case?
I definitely didn't think it would be the case, Look, I'm still in the process of qualifying. In the next 5 weeks, we will know for sure whether I get that straight ticket or not. It's looking really good. But yeah, I think in terms of the different hats, I'm just really somebody that likes to feel like I'm doing everything that I can, I think life is short and it's super important to try your best, Now,
from what I understand, breakdancing's genesis was very much in street culture and various urban spaces around the world. And it came with it the street style, it came with it the music, it came with it with the social ills that were being fought at any given time. And breakdancing was all part of how that generation was expressing themselves in a way. How has it taken itself as an art form like that, as a voice of young people at that time, to now being on an international stage at an Olympics as a sport, to be judged, to be given points, for medals to be handed out? Has it been an easy transition, or are there some people within the breakdancing community that's a little bit torn about whether this is where this art form should be going?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a catch-22, considering where it comes from, there's always been that element of competition. There's always been that element of who's better than the next. And for those who don't know, yes, it comes from a place of gangs, choosing to dance, battle as opposed to violence, So there's always been that element of, am I better than you? From the streets, it's moved into battles, it's moved into ciphers where we've quantified who's better in different ways. Now it's more just, I think it's more formalized, So there is a big part of the scene that doesn't feel it's the right move. But there's a lot of us that think it is, For me, I think the more platforms, the better, the more eyeballs, the better. And if you don't want to compete in terms of breaking in a scene like the Olympics, then there's still everything else that pushes the culture. There are the jams, there's the battles, there's the ciphers. I think it just gives room for everybody. It doesn't have to be like this one type of thing,
Now, you actually were quite sporty growing up. You were into kickboxing and all kinds of, even football, and you came to dancing quite late. Tell us very shortly your journey with breakdancing.
Yeah, like it happened for me by chance. I have a gymnastic background, like you mentioned, kickboxing, soccer. So I think falling into breaking was almost like a culmination of all those things, So it was the era of the music videos, the Missy Elliott music videos. And I grew up in Durban, so there wasn't much to see and to go by. But I think once I got bitten by the bug, and then especially once I moved to Joburg, the rest is really history. Because here was where I got to see it more as an industry and more of a tool as opposed to just a pastime.
Yeah. And are there connections perhaps with gymnastics in terms of, explain to us how it runs as a sport? Do you get judged for creativity? Do you get judged for how more difficult your tricks are that you turn? How does it get judged as a sport, specifically with an eye on what you still need to do in terms of qualifying for the Olympics?
Sure. Well, the qualifying process has been ongoing for the last 3 years. We started while we were in lockdown, so they were online qualifiers. Last year we had our first physical events, and over the last couple months I've gone to compete in Seoul, and I just came back from Japan. So we're in a process of once you make your national team, which I've done, you then got to go global and try and earn as many points as you can. So in the next month I go to Morocco for the African Continental, which I need to win in order to get a straight shot in. But it's judged in different kind of ways, right? So if we had to compare to gymnastics, yes, there's elements of tricks and, all these high-flying power moves. But at the end of the day, it's still a dance. And I think what makes it different from all these other sports is that I don't rock up with music on a USB that I've been preparing to forever. There's a DJ. I have no idea what that DJ is going to play, and it's one-on-one. So it's a conversation between two people, you know. So on the different elements that you need to hit, it's a comparison between the two people. So yeah, it's a little different than just being able to prepare and you know, do a routine.
Well, the way you talk about it, it's surely your life's passion, and we can only wish you everything the best with those last few qualifying rounds, especially as you head towards Morocco, and the different influences within breakdancing and the continent must be so fascinating to be a part of. So do enjoy that, but do also keep us posted, and wish you everything of the best. And we'll see you in Paris in 2024. South Africa's breakdancing queen, Courtnaé Paul, joining us virtually from here in Johannesburg, and we wish you everything of the best.